Maya and the Midnight Zoo Maya lived in a small apartment in the very middle of a big, bustling city. The city was a wonderful place, full of towering skyscrapers that glittered like giant jewelry boxes and the constant, lively rhythm of traffic and people. But sometimes Maya missed quiet and green, growing things. Her favorite place was the city zoo. She loved visiting the lions, the monkeys, and the colorful parrots. But she always felt a little pang of sadness seeing the animals in their enclosures. No matter how nice they were, they looked so still, so quiet during the day. They must get lonely when everyone goes home, she told her mother one night. Oh, I'm sure they're fast asleep, her mother said, tucking her in. But Maya couldn't sleep. The city lights painted shifting shapes on her ceiling. And then she heard it, a sound that didn't belong. It wasn't a siren or a car horn. It was a soft, low trumpet. She slipped out of bed and went to her window. The sound seemed to be coming from the direction of the zoo. Curious, she pulled on her favorite red rain boots and her fluffy blue coat. She tiptoed past her parents' room, down the elevator, and out into the cool night air. The streets were empty. The zoo gates were locked tight. But that's when she saw it, a faint golden glow coming from inside. And she heard more sounds, a chittering laugh, the soft pad of paws, the rustle of wings. Following the wall, she found a small, open drainage grate she'd never noticed before. Taking a deep breath, she crawled inside. The tunnel was dark and damp, but at the end of it, more golden light spilled out. She popped out right by the penguin pool and gasped. The zoo was awake. But it wasn't the zoo she knew during the day. The pathways were lit by softly glowing willow, the wisps floating in lanterns. Vines with sparkling flowers had grown over the fences, connecting all the habitats. And the animals were free. They weren't running away. They were visiting. Maya watched, her eyes wide with wonder. A family of elephants was splashing in the seal pool. The snow leopard was curled up next, a sloth, high up in a tree that stretched over both their enclosures, listening to a parrot tell a story. The monkeys were swinging on vines from one side of the zoo to the other, delivering messages and jokes. This was the Midnight Zoo, a secret time when the walls between homes came down. Maya stepped out from the shadows. The animals stopped and turned to look at her. For a moment, everything was silent. A large, silver gorilla stepped forward. He didn't look angry, just curious. Hello, Maya whispered, her voice small in the magical quiet. My name is Maya. I heard the music. The gorilla nodded slowly. He gestured for her to follow him. He led her to the center of the zoo, where a grand old clock tower stood. Beneath it was a carousel, but instead of painted ponies, it had animals, a lion, a giraffe, a panda, all frozen in place. The gorilla pointed to the carousel, then to a small, empty keyhole in the clock tower's base. He made a turning motion with his large hand. Maya understood. It needs a key to start? The gorilla nodded. All the animals had gathered around now, looking at the carousel with sad eyes. The parrot fluttered down and landed on Maya's shoulder. The keeper had the key, The parrot squawked softly, the keeper who understood. But he grew old and left. The music stopped. The midnight reunion can't last without the music. Maya saw then that the wisps were starting to flicker. The magical vines were beginning to wither. The midnight zoo was fading. We have to find the key, Maya said. She thought hard. What would a keeper who understood do? He wouldn't take the magic with him. He would hide it for someone else to find. Someone who loved the zoo as much as he did. She looked down at her bright red rain boots. She thought about how she always noticed the quiet animals. She thought about feeling that they were lonely. He'd hide it where a child who cares would look, she said to herself. She ran. She didn't run to the offices or the gift shop. She ran to her favorite spot, the one she visited first on every trip, the otter enclosure. There was a little nook behind Waterfall, her secret hiding place. She reached her hand into the damp nook. Her fingers brushed against something cold and metal. She pulled out a large, old-fashioned key, shaped like a twisting vine. She ran back to the clock tower, the animals parting to make a path for her. With a deep breath, she inserted the key into the keyhole and turned. Clunk! Whoa! The clock tower began to chime, a beautiful, deep, melodic sound that was nothing like the bells of the city. It was the sound of forests and oceans and deserts all at once. As it chimed, the carousel began to turn, its animals moving up and down as it played a joyful, piping tune. The will-o'-the-wisps blazed brightly. The glowing vines grew thicker and stronger, weaving the zoo into one beautiful, connected community. The animals trumpeted, roared, and chittered with joy. The gorilla placed a gentle hand on Maya's head. The parrot nuzzled her cheek. "You are the keeper now," the parrot said. Maya smiled. She knew what that meant. It didn't mean she owned the zoo. It meant she was its guardian, its friend. She stayed until the first hints of pink touched the sky. The animals returned to their homes. The vines receded, and the magical light faded. The zoo looked ordinary again, ready for the daytime visitors. Maya crawled back through the tunnel and ran all the way home, slipping back into bed just as the sun rose. Now, when Maya visits the zoo during the day, it's different. She sees the quiet understanding in the animal's eyes. The lion gives a slow, deliberate blink just for her. The parrot squawks a special hello. She knows their secret. And every once in a while, when she can't sleep, she puts on her red boots and her blue coat. She slips out into the night, takes the key from its hiding place, and goes to start the music. For she is Maya, the keeper of the Midnight Zoo.